Hello all, Olin here, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about character creation in the Secret World. Not so much the whole moving around sliders and picking your appearance, but the basic questions of what server should I pick, what's the best faction, and the all-important question of why the bloody freaking hell can't I get a name that isn't already taken? Let's start with an easy one first, the question of what server should I start on? The answer to that is it really doesn't matter that much. The game was built using a mega server design, so each of what the game calls dimensions, and most other people call servers, are all largely connected. You can friend, group, or chat with anyone across dimensions without restriction in PvE. The only thing your home dimension really dictates is which instance of a zone you get shuffled into when you're not grouped with someone from another dimension, and which PvP grouping you take part of when you're in the game's static battleground, Fusan. If you want the best chance of running into other players during your gameplay, then Arcadia is probably your best bet. Also, I think Cerberus is a pretty populated one too. Aside from that, I've listed the PvP groupings on screen, but it really doesn't matter. Pick the dimension name that you like the most, and give it a go. As far as the best faction goes, well, that's a little bit more of an opinion thing. Unless, of course, when you ask that, what you really mean is what faction has the best PvP, in which case, I sadly don't have an answer. I haven't PvP'd in the Secret World for, at least half a year now. Outside of that, there are a couple specific differences between the factions. There are faction-specific missions, both in between regions, as well as you level up in the faction themselves. Each faction has a set of unique pre-built character decks that are largely not recommended builds, but they do offer faction-specific outfits and titles, plus a little bit of an idea of how to put builds together, even if, only as a bad example. Um, you can only join a cabal, the game's version of guilds with people from the same faction, and obviously PvP in the Secret World is faction versus faction versus faction. Beyond that, it's really just a matter of which flavor you prefer. There's corporate mixed with a bit of insane druggy and general internet, proper, driven, and a little self-righteous, or mysterious and infuriatingly cryptic. It's up to you. Names. Let's talk names and the fact that some people find it incredibly hard to find an open one. And that's not a creativity issue, or at least not necessarily. It actually is linked to the whole server thing. Since the game runs on one giant mega server, every dimension shares the same pool of names as every other dimension. So when you do finally manage to get a character name, it's unique across everyone ever playing the game. So the easiest way to check and see if a name is available is really actually not in the game's UI, because a lot of times, you pick your appearance based on your name, or at least I always have. The easiest way is actually to check a website. It's the game's official character database website. It's chronicle.thesecretworld.com, and you just search for character names there, and if it doesn't find it, the name's available. Feel free to be as silly as you need with your name, because the game specifically says it's a nickname, not your character's name. There's a first name, a last name, and a nickname that you do here. A nickname is the one that pops up above heads inside the game world. Uh, I will say that it may not necessarily be if a name is available or not that's causing you to have problems creating your character. The game has a pretty broad profanity filter in this regard, and it's not just checking against like English profanities, it's checking across multiple languages. So sometimes it can be incredibly hard to find a name. Like I think it blocks Violet, I think because of French, if I recall. It's really, it can be a pain. So good luck with your name hunting, folks. Well, folks, I hope that helped you get your characters up and running and into the game world. Next time I should be taking a look at what weapons you might want to choose. And If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, things like that, and until next time, later.